As you may or may not know, I've actually been getting into Gutenberg a lot more lately because there are so many amazing tools out there that speed up the process of creating our designs in a much more visual fashion than Gutenberg itself allows. Today, we're going to be taking another look at Spectra, formerly known as the Ultimate Add-ons for Gutenberg. This has now finally been released and this is the free version. So we're going to take a quick look at what options are available, and I'm going to give you my feedback at the end of the video, what I think of Spectra and whether it's worth even bothering to install on your Gutenberg based website. Let's take a look at Spectra. So this is the Spectra website, and this will give you all the information you need to know about it, what it's for, the starter templates, all those kinds of things. Now, before we go any further, one of the things that I think is really nice about Spectra, and I mentioned this in my original video looking at the beta version, it doesn't matter what theme you're using, anywhere you use global colors and global typography, that will be usable inside Spectra itself. So this means it integrates and plays nicely with whatever theme you want to use. In today's demo, we're going to be using it with Astra itself, which is the kind of theme that Brainstorm Force developed alongside Spectra. However, you can use this with Blocksy, Cadence, anything you want. Anywhere using global colors and typography, you can access that inside your nice touch. So once you've gone ahead and downloaded and installed the plugin itself, if you come into settings, you can see we have Spectra inside here. And this is another one of those areas that I think a lot of block-based tools and page builder based tools and add-ons could really learn from. I do like the option to be able to enable and disable things that I do or do not want to use. So for example, if we come into the blocks and extensions, inside there, this now shows us all of the different block level elements that we have to build out our pages. So our containers, headers, those kinds of things. So if we were working with clients and we're handing this off to them, there may be certain features we just don't want them to have access to, where we can lock those away by just disabling any of those options inside here. So you can see things like post grids, Lottie animations, how-tos, and so on. Each one of these also has a live demo. So if you want to see what this looks like, you can click and open it up, and that will then take you over to a live demonstration of how that particular function works. So you can see ready-made structure to write how-to steps with the how-to block. Pretty cool. You can see, get a real feel for how this all works. So nice visual way of working. And this is one of the things that I will all credit to Brainstorm Force. They do create good products. They do create really good websites that have good content on there to help you understand and get the most out of it, but also to see how the various different features work. So again, kudos for that. So jumping back in, you can see we could also go ahead and filter these based upon whether they're just creative elements, content elements, posts, those kinds of options. Let's go back to all, and you can see you can activate and deactivate. So very simple and easy to use. So jumping into settings, we also have a lot more controls inside here. So we can get really granular on how Spectra is actually set up to work inside the editor in Gutenberg, and also various other things about performance, those kinds of things. So you can see we can set the default content width, which is set to 1240, but you can set that to whatever you want. Also things like your container padding, container element gaps, block editor spacing, whether you want the panels to be collapsed when you're not using them, copy and paste options, block recovery, have a little look through to see what you think is relevant, tweak accordingly. Asset generation, so you can see we can choose file generation or we can regenerate any assets. So if you're having a problem, things not showing up properly, well, you can regenerate and hopefully that would rectify any issues you may be experiencing. You can enable or disable the templates. So again, if you're working with clients and you don't want them to have access to those wireframes, the templates, the page designs and so on, which we'll take a look at, you can disable that from here and that button will be then completely removed. Version control, so you can, if you want to roll back, so if you've used a tool like Elementor, had a problem with an update, and you need to roll back to the previous version, which was working and stable, you can do that. You can enable beta, so if you want to use this on a test site, and only on a test site, not ever on a live site, you can enable the beta option, and you can then test out any beta functions as they roll out before they're finalized and released. And you can enable any legacy blocks. So if you were using this and you upgraded to Spectra and some of the blocks maybe from Ultimate Add-ons for Gutenberg are being used, well, you can enable the ability to carry on using those by flicking that switch there. Performance allows you to do a couple of things, which again, I really do like. Load Google Fonts locally, so you can enable this option so you don't have that call to the Google servers, so therefore you protect yourself from the GDPR and the problems that have been kind of coming about from accessing fonts and things on the Google servers. And you can also go ahead and preload your fonts, which again will give you boosted sort of performance options, and you can then choose exactly what font or font families you do or don't want to use. Block settings, so if you're using reCAPTCHA, you can drop in your key and everything, so that'll work directly inside Spectra. And you can also set up a coming soon option. So this is basically if your site is in development or it's in maintenance, you can create pages that are telling site users that that's the case, and then you can choose which page you want from your design. Okay, so that's the settings and the ability to turn the extensions and blocks on and off. Let's go ahead and have a page open and take a look at Spectra itself and just some of the blocks that we can start to work with. So I've gone ahead and created a blank page ready to start working with Spectra. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the template kits, which is what I said you can enable or disable. And if we open that up, there are three different options inside here. There are pages, which are basically full site designs from a single page up to multi-page designs. Patterns, on the other hand, are individual pieces. So for example, hero, call to action, contact, those kinds of things. And we've also got wireframes, which are basically the same as patterns, but without the image and the actual text in there. This is just going to use placeholder text, placeholder image boxes. So you can very quickly just import one of these in, change the content and get up and running super quickly. Now, if we take a look at the plus on the top left-hand side, we can see there's all of our Spectra blocks. So all the ones we have enabled, in this example, everything, will be listed inside here. So you've got your container, your header, image, buttons, and so on. So we have blocks like you'd see in a tool like Elementor, for example, the info box. If we just click and insert that, that now pulls in an info box, which is made up of various different components, an icon, some header, and some text. You've also got things there like content timeline, so you can click to insert that, and you can see we get these quite nice, intricate designs. And we could easily then just come into any of these, select it, make changes to it. We can select the entire sort of content timeline itself, and then you can see on the right hand side we have all the controls that allow us to manage and customize the look and feel and various different parameters about this. So if we take a quick look, this is very similar to what you see in something like Cadence, what you see in Generate blocks, and also in page builders like Elementor. You've got your general, which has the basic information, your style, which as its name suggests allows you to style the component or the various different elements, blocks inside there. And also you've got advanced then, which gives you various different options. So under general, you can see we can adjust things like the alignment of this. So by changing that, you can see it updates the design as well. We can set the text alignment inside each of those different elements. So if you're working right to left, RTL languages, you can support that directly inside here as well. And you've also got your alignment for your arrows. So you can see we can set where we want those in our design. And you've got various different things like displaying the date, your timeline items, so you can set up whether this is like H1, H4, H3, whatever you want. And the connector, you can change your icons. You have full control over this. Style then allows you to come in and adjust things like padding. You can adjust the marker gap. You can see we can adjust spacing, the item gap to space things out. There's lots of options. And then under advanced, we have some nice things that's good to see inside here. So things like responsive conditions, we can choose where and when we want to display this particular element. You can also control the Z or Z index. And under advanced, we can apply HTML anchors, or we can add additional CSS classes. A lot of these options are going to be very familiar no matter what kind of tool you've been using. So those are the kind of block designs we can pull in. But we've also got the sort of basic building blocks. Let's go ahead and remove this. Let's come back into the toggle, and inside there we've got the container, and this is where you get probably a lot more control over what you want to do. These are the kind of foundational building blocks you use to put your other content inside. So if you click on the container, you can see, again, if you're coming from a tool like Elementor, this is going to be very familiar. We can choose different kinds of layouts, and because we're using Flexbox, we get more control over how things can look. So you can see we can get these more intricate base designs. For this example though, let's just choose this very first option to insert just a single row column. And now we have a placeholder that we can put content inside. So if you want to, you can click on the plus and you can say, let's go ahead and add in that timeline this time. So we can drop that inside there, and now that timeline is contained inside a container. So with the benefit of this is we can open up the options on the left-hand side for our list view. You can see the content timeline is contained inside the container, but now we can control not just the content timeline like we've just seen, but also the container itself, which gives us a load more options. You can see if we come over to the right hand side, we've got our general style and advanced options, again, like we've just seen. However, inside there, we've got presets. Now, if you come from a tool like Stackable, which is another sort of block level tool for Gutenberg, you will find this very, very familiar. And this is something that Brainstorm Force absolutely do. They take time to look at what other companies are doing with their products. They see what works well, and then they'll integrate those ideas into their own product and give you a kind of best of all worlds, which is a good thing because it means that you can see things that you like in other ones that you may have other aspects you don't like so much. However, with this, you've got a better chance of having all the good things and minimizing the things you don't really like the way they work. So you can see we've got these presets. In this example, we've got 4 different kinds of presets. So you can have this kind of standard one with no outside. So it's like kind of just basically as plain can be. You can put like an outline around it. You can have a drop shadow on your container. You can have a drop shadow with an outline. You know, you can set up various different looks and feels directly inside you. You can also go ahead and reset that to set it back to the default values. If you come into the container itself, this is where we can control the container width, and we can work on full width, boxed, custom. You can set the content width to be boxed or custom. So for example, our container width, we'll leave that to full width. We'll see the content width to be boxed, and we'll adjust the actual content box width. So as I start to bring this down, you'll see that our timeline starts to shrink to fit into the look of that. However, with the full width for the container, if we come into style and we set our background color inside there, so we'll just choose a color. We'll grab any of the colors from here. And again, like I said, you can see this picks up the colors we have set up globally from the theme itself. And we'll set this to be, let's just go for this lighter gray kind of color. So now what you can see is that the overall container, which is full width, is this gray color. However, the content that sits inside it, which in this example is the timeline, is considerably smaller. And as we adjust it, you can see we can set up exactly how big we want this to still be contained. Hope that makes sense, but it's nice to have that kind of level of granularity and control. So you can also do other things inside here. You can work with pixels, percentage, or viewport width and viewport height, depending upon what you're adjusting, height and width. You can set up the HTML tag you want to use, so you can see there's an abundance of different options inside here. So from a good semantic point of view, this gives you most of the things you should need, if not all the things you should need. You've also then got how you want to handle the overflow to make it visible, hidden, or automatic. And more importantly, is the Flexbox properties. So if you're used to working with Flexbox in any kind of tools, these are going to be very, very familiar to you. So you can see we can set the direction, so rows, columns, reverse rows, and so on. All those are inside here. Then the align items, which you can also adjust based upon the type of device, so fully responsive. You can justify your content, and all these, like I say, are all fully controlled across all the different devices. You can have multiple different layouts using Flexbox, and then you can manage the wrap options as well. So you can wrap, you can have the option for no wrap, or you can have wrap reverse. All your options are contained inside here for working with the Flexbox model, which is great to see. Coming into style, like I said, you've got your options inside here. We can use any of the global colors, or we can create custom colors inside here. Same go for the colors for the text, your border, your box shadow, your divider. So you can see we can create different kinds of shadows. So it's very easy to sort of control and customize how this all looks. You can see by doing that, we now create a custom kind of shadow around this. You probably can't see it that well because this is kind of full width. But those options are there. And again, we can reset that if we want to. We can set on hover value. So you want to have it on hover effect. So your kind of shadow appears when you hover over. You can set your color, all the options for the actual shadow itself, inset, outset. You can deal with shape dividers on the top or the bottom, which personally I'm not the biggest fan of, but you know, they're there should you want them. I just wish they'd come up with some more interesting looking designs than the kind of average ones you see with a lot of these page builders and so on. So let's remove that from there. And you can control your spacing for your padding, your column gap, your row gap, and so on. And again, if we come into the advanced option, you've got your conditions inside here, you've got your Z index and your advanced options. So there's an abundance of options. And if we come into the Astra option at the top, we've got even more settings inside here to control, in this example, the Astra theme. So you can see we can deal with content layouts. And I do always like to see very clear and easy to understand iconography being used. It just means at a glance, I can see what will change if I click on it. So it's good to see we have options like that inside here to control how this will all look based upon the different kinds of theme elements you have. You can then control your sidebar, and again, using that same kind of iconography. You can disable elements, so you may want to get rid of the header or the footer. And if we come to advanced settings, you can see we have more options inside here to deal with things like transparent header, your header rows, and so on. So it's good to see we have a ton of controls inside here. We also have options for copy and paste. So for example, let's just go ahead and insert a new container. Let's open this up. Let's add a new container in. So if we now go take a look, you can see there's our second container. Let's go ahead and just drop something inside there as well. So let's come down. We'll say we want this to be just standard container. We'll click and we'll add an info box inside there. Doesn't really matter too much what's in there. So we now have two containers, both with different backgrounds. So if we come up to our first container and select it and use the little paintbrush, we can copy our style from there. We can come down to our second container, we'll select it, we'll click on the little paintbrush again, and this time we're going to choose paste style, and any styles we've set up will be now created inside there. So that customizes and makes it very easy, and you can do this across any kind of different containers and any widgets or elements or block level elements you have inside there. So there's a ton of options inside here. So what are my thoughts on Spectra? Do I think it's worth investing your time in? From a ease of use, from a well-designed product that's nice, clean and simple, looks the part and operates in the way you would expect, absolutely. There's nothing to not want to try Spectra at all. It does have some limitations in the fact that we don't have any kind of dynamic content. However, that's probably going to come in a pro or premium version, which is pretty safe to be, it's going to be released at some point in the near future. But I would like to see this kind of compete on the same kind of way that we have with Generate Blocks, where you have, even the free version has some pretty incredible dynamic features. So I would love to see that being added into Spectra in the free version in the future, and then maybe just take some of the more advanced options out and save that for the premium version that is obviously going to be coming before too long. But for me, Spectra is a really nice tool. I love the fact that it integrates with your typography and your colors from your theme, and it doesn't matter what theme you're using, providing it supports, sort of like global colors and color variables and so on. Lovely to see that. I love the simplicity of the interface. There's not much to not like about it, to be honest. But I'd love to get your feedback on this. Have you tested Spectra? Would you use this? Are you already using this? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, all applicable links are in the description. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts, and until next time, take care.